Okay. No, it's fine. I was explaining how the algorithm works. I didn't say you should do it. See, the thing is, I'm legitimately late on my streams, and now people will think that I'm using the algorithm. Yeah, but that doesn't count for the algorithm. Like, you literally just have to not be there. The moment you start the stream and you do the preamble, then you don't take advantage of the algorithm. I don't make the algorithms.
Why don't you make the algorithms?
You know what? I should. I fucking should. If I make the algorithms, Arch, your channel would be the #1 channel on YouTube. Actually, it will be the #2. Mine would be the #1.
Number 2nd.
Yes.
Vee was just telling me, chat, whilst I was muted, that I should be late to all of my streams because being late boosts me in the algorithm. So, from now on, 1 hour wait time. Mandatory.
As I mentioned, I did not say that. I was just explaining how it works.
1 hour. Mandatory.
I can't leave it like that, Arch, because if I leave it like that, people will think that I'm late on purpose on my channel, which is a tradition at this point.
1 hour. Mandatory.
Yeah, but like if it's 1 hour mandatory, wouldn't people just show 1 hour later?
Yeah, but that doesn't actually matter. It's just the algorithm that we're boosting here, not actual people.
I see.
Eventually, I'll train my subscribers. There'll be one new dude in chat, and he'll go like late, and the entirety of chat will go like, no, this is a tactic.
I should use that excuse.
We did also one super chat that I didn't see on the Shadow Empire streams. I'll pick that up here. And one we got before we started. Prime Mustard says, my donation to the Arch Trooper Corps, the game we reviewed last year, Grand Tactics, the Civil War reviews on Steam have bumped up to very positive. I was wondering if you'd be interested in taking a second look at the game again for a stream idea. I will when they release their update, because they're working on a different campaign mode right now, so when they're done with that, I'll probably have another look at it.
Is the Shadow Empire cool?
Shadow Empire is very cool. Snootenhoff?
It's about, like, colonizing a planet?
Oh no, you're already on the planet. You're then again intergalactic war hits, and you're sent back to the Stone Age. Snootenhoff says, I have some extra pastry money. I hear the prices for sugary loaves have gone up to absurd levels. They sort of have. Like, inflation hasn't hit Norway as bad as some places, but it is fun in games. I heard Argentina is getting hit really hard with like 8% inflation increases in like single months and stuff.
Do we have people from Argentina?
I'm sure there are humans from Argentina. I just don't know if they're here. No. But apparently they are taking quite the beating over there, economically speaking. I don't even know why. It's probably because of that one dude, that footballer dude, who earned so much money that he is actually driving up the average income of the entire nation. He's bringing so much wealth into the country unilaterally that he's actually devaluing the peso, or whatever the hell they're using in Argentina.
Well, that sucks. We had that in Romania happen once. It's really not cool.
Hey, I was correct. It is the peso. Jesus. And Artemis Fowl says, kick V. Can't. It is against my contractual obligations.
That is true, I would sue.
Speaking of suing, right, today's primary topic, Elon Musk. I am excited to welcome Linda Yaccarino as the new CEO of Twitter. Right. Not even just a member of the World Economic Forum, but the executive chair of the World Economics Forum's advertising battalion or some such stupid nonsense.
So you did your due diligence and doxed her.
This has, unsurprisingly, got a fair few people a little bit nervous.
They will cancel their Twitter Blue.
Yep, I have heard that as well. Like that people wanted to support it via Twitter Blue, primarily because they were hoping for a free speech platform. And for some reason, the executive chair of the World Economic Forum does not infuse people with confidence that it will remain a free speech platform.
I mean, is it really a free speech platform? To me, it's the same Twitter like the old Twitter, except leftists were angry. Now right-wingers are angry as well.
Well, the new Twitter is certainly more permissive than the old Twitter. And it also does seem to apply its rules and regulations more evenly. There's also stuff like the community notices, for example. Like, that shit would not have been allowed on old Twitter.
Yeah, that's true. But, like, I think, like, misgendering is something that's allowed now.
Wow. Very conservative.
Aggressive. Very, very conservative. But other than that, still the same TOS. I guess like we see the other side get zooked a little bit, which is, you know, the rules are being applied fairly. But it's still the same Twitter. I mean, you know, you can't go there and have the same dank memes that you had in 2016.
That's true, because sadly we are not in 2016 anymore. Like, nothing is like in the good old days.
No.
We must return to our mythical past. Except, of course, that it wasn't a mythical past, it was 5 years ago.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? Like, how much the internet changed in 5 years. Like, search engines are pitch engines.
Yep.
That they don't actually show you what you want to see. You have, like, everything is corporatized and sanitized.
Yep. The fact that the internet is no longer about finding stuff. It is about being sold things.
Yes. I mean, if you go on Google and you look for anything remotely controversial, whether it's abortion or global warming or whatever, you're not going to get any sources that are against it. Like it's all mainstream media.
Dig. And if you find a source, it's the kind of source that says like some crazy conspiracy-brained maniacs dispute the reality of global warming.
Yeah. So, but and it didn't used to be like that, right? I mean, it's not just global warming, but it's almost every single topic. And if you look at it, it gives you like 1 trillion search results. And if you actually want to go all the way down, it stops at around like 4,000 or 3,000, and you literally cannot see. Like it's impossible to access the other sources.
Yep. And of course, here I'll bring up Google. I don't use Google much anymore. I try to avoid it. But let's do an old favorite, for example, Gamergate. What will pop up? Was a loosely organized misogynistic online harassment campaign and a right-wing backlash against feminism, diversity, and progressivism in video game culture. So, that sounds like a balanced point of view, don't you think?
Yeah, you know, it never explained like why gamers were misogynistic.
No.
What caused like all of a sudden, just, you know, like gamers woke up and like, we hate women, and it's like, but why though? Because like, if I remember correctly, back in the day, not only like many people wanted to play video games with women, which is why Rita Sarkeesian was so successful in attracting an audience, but it just like came out of the blue. And most women were upset with gamers because it's like, oh my god, instead of like playing with me, he's playing video games. I am dumping his ass.
Yep. And okay, like, well, you can take issue with the top article, right? Because it's a Wikipedia quote. Fair enough. Let's see the next one. Gamergate was all about disguising a sincere wish for violence and upheaval. Okay, sure. Gamergate, the freewheeling catastrophe social movement, misdirected lynch mob. Yeah. Gamergate, online harassment campaign. Again, if you wanted to actually figure out what happened during Gamergate, good luck, because it has been wiped off the internet. You could probably go God knows how many pages before you arrive at something not even resembling a pro-Gamergate article, but a neutral one.
Do you know that ChatGPT actually gives you the neutral story if you ask it?
Wow, I'm impressed.
I think it's because it has its database, and they haven't tried to censor that part because like they didn't
They
think
haven't gotten
anyone
it
would
to it
ask.
yet.
Nah, I mean, well, they just don't think anyone would ask. So, but if you ask it like, has there been any convictions by the FBI? It goes like, nope.
Yep. It's like that is the internet today. Information is very difficult to find, and see, I remember I had one of those. I had a discussion with a family member a while ago because I was talking about this shit. Like, okay, but do you genuinely believe what they're telling you on the news? And this was about Ukraine and the upcoming spring offensive, and it's like Russia was going to lose any day now. You know, the shit they've been saying for the last few months. And I had to ask, like, do you believe the news? It's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, okay, why? Well, they're the news. But why? Like, and there's where do you get your news from? Well, the internet, from everything that isn't the mainstream. It's like, how do you know you can believe that? Because there's like 500 different people saying it. And that was the thing on Twitter. Right now, you can actually get a decent variety of information on Twitter. Like on YouTube, for example, spreading disinformation about the Russia-Ukraine war is a TOS violation. On Twitter, you can still find the Russian crazies who are on the exact opposite side of the argument, who are like, this is all a 6D chess move by Putin. He's luring Ukraine into a false sense of security, you see.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with this, especially with a war, the fog of war is an actual thing, and it's very difficult to tell what's happening on the ground. Even like if you're a charitable source, because like who is an objective journalist that can actually go in the middle of the conflict and both sides would be like, okay, well, he's a journalist, he's just trying to find out what happened. Let's allow him to,
Yeah.
And then it's like, even if you're there, right? Like there's an explosion, and parts of buildings are flying and stuff. Do you, as a civilian who was literally there on the ground, do you know what happened? Like, do you know who fired, from where it came? Why was it attacked? Like, probably soldiers don't know many times either. Like, the only thing soldiers know, it's like, okay, we're attacked from where? From over there, I think.
Exactly.
So the only people that know are the higher-ups, basically. And only after the war do you actually get what happened, and it's only the version of the winner.
Yep. So you
the winner isn't going...
You need a plurality of sources to have any hope of getting to something resembling reality these days.
Like, the winner isn't going to go, yes, the Katyn massacre. Yeah, we did that, like when we took over Poland, we didn't appreciate the fact that the Polish military might turn against us and do guerrilla warfare, so we nipped it in the bud. Like, they're not going to say that, so you need to wait at least a couple of decades until it's revealed.
We took care of it early.
We took care of it early, yeah. But the only time where you can actually know what's happening is like if both sides agree to it. So like if Russia and Ukraine would come up and say, okay, this is the number of people we lost, and it's similar numbers, then you can go like, okay, yeah, well, that's probably the correct estimates.
And again, this was a little bit of what made Twitter valuable there, at least for a while, because we arrived at a point where Twitter was, at the very least, applying its rules and regulations relatively evenly, giving both sides a fairly equal chance to have their say on whatever nonsense was currently going on.
And the community notes was just flawless. Like, I haven't seen one single wrong community note. I'm pretty sure it exists somewhere, but I haven't been exposed to it.
I don't know how they work. Nobody seems to know how it works, but the community notes appear to be fairly well self-moderated, in that I haven't seen anything that appears to be obvious bullshit on it yet, which is rare.
So I heard a little bit on how it works. Apparently, like, there's obviously an algorithm, and every vote has a point. But like, if two people that usually disagreed in the past agree on one thing, it counts even more as that thing being true.
Uh-huh. A consensus sort of thing. There was
yeah, like basically, if you and Vosh agreed on something, like that would count a lot more. Like, they would probably say, all right, well, that thing must be true. If Arch and Vosh agrees, then it's most likely that it's a true statement.
Yes. If you have two people who disagree on most things agreeing on this thing, odds are that thing is probably correct.
Yeah.
But the question is whether or not that will be allowed to stay. Somehow I have this sneaking suspicion that the particular person in question here is unlikely to allow the community notes to stay in the same form that they have been so far, because they've mostly been used to beat the left over the head with, because the left is so habitually wrong on virtually everything.
I mean, the way they preferred was to fact check only the right, and whenever you would say, it's like, why don't left-wingers get fact checked? Oh, because they never lie. You know, like, did you get that argument thrown at you back in the day?
Of course.
Literally, they never lie, not once. Like, they're the only politicians in human history that do not lie.
Let's see. Let me see if I can find it here. I found one particularly amazing community note that I just loved the hell out of. Let me see if I can...
While you're looking for it, did you know that advertisers got community noted as well?
They did?
Yeah, like, this is what a lot of people were bewildered. Like, there was this bank which had an advertisement. It's like, oh, you know, like, if you come to us, we're going to give you better returns on your loans and blah, blah, blah. And the community notes were like, actually... Actually, and like, people were like, hey, Elon Musk, I don't think advertisers will like this.
It turns out you might have been bullshitting just a little bit. God, where is it? Did it get yeeted? He probably got yeeted, didn't. It was during the coronation, and some dude was like, here's the royal carriage built from African gold or some such shit. And people were like, actually, it was built in Australia. It's like, and then he comes back and is like, oh, that's not the point. It was colonialism who paid for it. And then a second community note came up yet again, like, actually, the colonial empire lost more money than it gained. In fact, it put enormous quantities of cash into infrastructure, and it was a net loss in almost all cases. Like, that's very unfortunate. Can't find it. But let's see here. Let's have a look at why people are a little bit worried about this chick, though. So I'll give you the link here in the context, in the link channel. Right. And we're just going to listen to this little 4-minute clip here to give you a little bit of an idea of what we're dealing with.
How are we doing it? Are we pressing start at the same time, or?
Yes.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go.
So you've got a massive platform. You have a vision that is...
Why is she holding her hands like a preacher? Is she casting Jedi voodoo?
Because she is a preacher.
And they can conduct their lives, their business, their commerce, whatever.
Look, she's casting spells. Lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
That's a pretty big vision. But in the middle should be...
she's restricting your freedom with her hands now,
I can talk about my brand. I can get my customers...
She's like God holding the information, deciding what you're allowed to see and what you're not.
Yes. Pretty good, right?
You'll be able to buy things just directly on Twitter. One click, boom, done.
But they need to feel that there is an opportunity for them to influence what you're building.
Yes, the advertisers need an opportunity to influence you.
Yeah. Oh my fucking God.
On your tweets. For example, you've said you probably shouldn't tweet after 3 a.m.
Well, I've got
probably good advice for all of us.
She made the joke.
I don't think she's joking, Vee.
I shouldn't tweet after 3 a.m. So I got like 2 more hours to tweet.
How you handle time zones in space. Well, you
that was a joke because nobody laughed.
Specific and not tweet after 3 a.m. People in this room would
She's
like
really concerned about him tweeting after 3 a.m. Like, let me control you, Musk. Let me control when you tweet.
It's important that, I mean, if I were to say, yes, you can influence me, that would be wrong. That would be wrong.
That would be wrong, yeah.
But I want to be specific.
Let me rephrase to pitch this differently.
Open feedback loop for the advertising experts in this room.
Is she gonna say it? Is she gonna say? She's going to say it.
Develop Twitter into a place where they will be excited about investing more money. Product development, ad safety,
content moderation.
No, but you need to say that. You need to say that. Safety.
It's totally cool to say that you want to have your advertising appear in certain places in Twitter and not in other places. But it is not cool to try to say what Twitter will do. And if that means using advertising dollars,
safety.
But freedom of speech is paramount.
Isn't it like the worst word ever to come out of the pandemic?
It is.
So, Twitter 1.0.
Look, they're clapping at him and they're not clapping at her. Did you notice that?
Well-populated, much-loved influence count.
By whom?
Much loved.
Much loved, yes. Do you remember when we went to the Twitter council and gave them flowers? We're like, thank you for your service.
Thank you. It was not that everybody was cheering when they were thrown out.
They had recurring access, or would have recurring access to you. Would you commit from this stage today?
My fucking god, the number of words that sound like corpo speak is astonishing.
Well, I don't think
she is a corpo person.
Yeah, but like, can't she speak normal? Like, she's in an interview now.
Creating a backlash among the public, because if the public thinks that their views are being determined by a small number of CMOs in America, they will be like, I think, upset about that.
I think so too.
But feedback, I think, is
who cares about the plebeians? The riffraff.
If somebody's spending money for
allowing peasantry to read, foolishness.
Organization, or it doesn't make sense.
So, already, you kind of know what's going on here. So the reason why this woman is being hired as a CEO is because she has enormous amounts of experience and success, to be fair, within the advertising and the marketing part of the world. She is Elon's bid to get the money back on Twitter to make it properly profitable again. But she is also very clearly a political agent.
Well, the thing is, you can look at this from 2 points of view. Number one is that Elon is just using her as a PR stunt in order to get the views back, to get the advertisers back. But number two is that she's going to gain control and she's going to do whatever she wants. The question is it going to be worse than Parag's Twitter or the same?
Worse is what I would bet.
You would think that it's going to be worse than Jack Dorsey's Twitter.
Yes, because Jack Dorsey was a tard. Simple as. This is a clever woman. Let's not make many mistakes here either. This is a very intelligent, very driven, and very ambitious woman here who has already risen to the top of an organization whose actual, literal, stated agenda is to reset the world.
Do you think she's going to be worse than Vijaya?
Yes.
I hope you're wrong.
The thing is, again, this is a WEF creature right here. You know how the news these days are going like the Great Reset is conspiracy theory?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the WEF literally has articles on their website going the Great Reset.
Oh, yes. On my video, I said that she is part of a conspiracy theorist website because I went to the World Economic Forum to learn about economics, but instead I just had like fringe far-right conspiracy theories sold to me.
That's like a good
I will
point.
read the books, they will reset the world, I will not own the anything, and I'm like, okay, that like why is this conspiracy website allowed to exist? Why doesn't Google crack down on it? Like, this is harmful misinformation that they're spreading.
This is very much so harmful misinformation, yes, here. And here's the thing. A lot of people are also going a little bit whataboutism, like, okay, but no, she'll actually be fine. This is actually Elon influencing the WEF, you see. Like, keep your enemies close, etc. No.
It is possible. I mean, he is the owner of the platform, right? I will wait until I see some changes, and then I will cast judgment. I don't think it's going to be worse than Jack Dorsey, though. I think like it's at worst is that level. At best, she just doesn't influence any of the policy that happens at Twitter, which is unlikely, but that would be the best.
But the thing is, this is Trump all over again. Where Trump got into power, and he thought to himself, okay, I'm going to fix this shit. I've got the drive, I'm an outsider, I've got the vision. And he got in there and he's like, I'm going to clean you all out, suckers. And then they come over and they're smiling and they're patting him on the back. Congratulations for winning, Mr. President. Man, aren't you a lovely dude? Aren't you so great and smart and stuff? Wow, we should really cooperate to make sure your vision comes through correctly. That people are excited about your vision, the corpo speak. And 4 years later, he's sitting there. Shit, I haven't done a damn thing. They've just been kissing my ass for 4 years.
Yeah, I actually complained about Zuckerberg because Zuckerberg would come to the White House and they would have dinner. And I think like Zuckerberg is the one that stabbed him in the back the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Out of all the social media giants.
That one speech he had where he was talking about how he got phone calls from like Zuckerberg, and Zuckerberg was like, man, Trump, you're so smart, Trump, you're so cool, Trump. And then later it was like, Trump, you're banned from my platform.
Yeah.
It's like...
And he didn't violate literally anything on Twitter. Sorry, on do you know what's interesting? Like when he came back, the last tweet that he had was like the one where he was telling people to go home, and because of the massive propaganda on TV, like there were a lot of people shocked. Like, wait, was this his last tweet? Like I thought he was agitating. I thought he was encouraging people to do this, and yet like his last tweet was go home.
Yep. And the issue is, Trump thought he could negotiate with these people. He thought he could convince them. He thought he could talk them into doing things. He thought he could bargain and treat with them. He thought he could handle them. I have a sneaking suspicion that Elon too thinks that he can handle this woman. I hope to God he's right, but I have yet to meet a man who can handle a manipulative bitch.
I don't know. I think we will wait and see. I hope you're wrong. Yeah, no, like you may be right, but I hope you're wrong.
And it's also here. I'll give the devil his due as well. It is entirely possible because this woman is corpo as they come. Like generally, she says all the right things in the exact same correct tone of voice, and you can hear when she speaks, she's measuring every word as they come out of her mouth. Everything is slow and deliberate. It's entirely possible that she took on the mantle of social justice warrior to gain access to the $10 billion in their bank account, to gain access to $100 million in aid money from NCBC to spend on her own personal pet project, her friends and family, etc. It's entirely possible that she has no political motivations whatsoever. She's just looking for a job. And hey, that would be ideal, but I don't think you get into sniffing range of Klaus Schwab without being a little bit religious, shall we say. Like, you don't end up in bed with the Pope without saying a few hallelujahs.
Well, at this point, almost everyone is with Klaus Schwab, right? Like, everyone that matters, I mean. Because, like, even if you're a politician or a CEO that's a major company, like, if you want to be in the network, you got to be with Klaus Schwab, even if you don't believe what he's saying.
Uh-huh. And there's the thing, too. She might start out going, like, I'm going to bring the advertiser to your platform, and she'll give him a taste. Some of the companies will come back because Klaus will nod his bald head, and you're like, yes. But then it'll start drying up again. It's like, well, we can bring him back if we do this. Like, let's get rid of the community notes. Or no, even better yet, let's moderate the community quote notes. There you go. And then they'll advertise come back, and they will. And then they'll stop again. It's like, but if we do this... Like, here's the thing. If the World Economic Forum can infiltrate cabinets, which they have bragged about publicly...
We have penetrated the cabinets.
Precisely. What are the odds they aren't going to try to penetrate Twitter?
They like to penetrate.
And what are the odds they won't succeed?
Did Elon Musk disavow Elijah Blue? Eliza Blue.
I have no idea. Who's that?
I think she worked with Twitter regarding rape prevention or something like that, and then it turns out that she lied about her story and got major drama with Tim Pool. Like, chat can clear it up. But basically, people are DMing me saying that, well, maybe Elon is a bad judge of character with the people he is choosing.
Or he simply believes them when they tell him that they're totally on his side. Like, who knows? We don't know. Maybe this chick will be just fine. Because, I mean, on the one hand, she is following some of the correct people. You know, they made a big deal out of she's following Trump. No, not Trump, but Trump's daughter, libs of TikTok, etc. But you can also look through her tweet history. And it ain't very based, shall we say. It ain't very spicy.
It's not based in... It is with a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of soy.
Yes. It's mostly just corporate nonsense, making sure she's being positive towards all of the correct people, you know?
Maybe she's a yes man, and she will say yes to the man.
It's entirely possible that she is simply very, very, very good at endearing herself with people who are capable of enriching her life.
Yes.
And hey, I don't mind that. In fact, that would be preferable to the alternative.
Cynical Eastern European type.
Yes. On the other hand, though, like people keep mentioning that she's followed the right people. She's also said some heavy-duty shit that puts her on the exact opposite side as well. I won't play this clip because it's a bit long as well, but it says that she's applauding companies that are fighting for social justice and equality because it brings innovation to the workspace, you see. It's profitable, you understand.
Yeah, but you see, Arch, if Vosh would pay me to be his co-host and he would pay me more than you, then I would be like, oh, yeah, social justice, very important. Yeah, the workers, the writer's strike, horrible. Oh, my God. So it really depends, like, who gives you the money.
I can't believe... Okay, see, this is the best part of it. Imagine 20 years ago, you would be sitting there and going like, yes, I hope she's simply just a cold-blooded corporate snake with no scruples whatsoever and the ability to lie like water. I love that. We're no longer hoping that this is going to be a good or charitable person or anything that'll do good.
I think person.
We are hoping she will be the most cynical bitch possible. There will be well, what was it they said? Let me see if I can find the thing here, because I believe that Elon also did promise that as soon as she was ready, they would do a Twitter Spaces where she would answer questions. I imagine a lot of people will want to get a question in there.
She wants to be prepared.
Oh, here we go. Yes, as soon as Linda Yak is ready, we will do a Spaces where you can ask us anything. If you thought people were reply girly to Trump, oh my, this one's going to get bombarded.
You know what people are asking in the chat?
What are they asking in the chat?
Why is Sekiro trending?
Why is
you can
Sekiro
literally
trending?
tell. Yes, like you can literally tell they're not fucking with the algorithm anymore when you get to see Sekiro trending, because in Jack Dorsey Twitter, you had stuff like the Holocaust, shit that no one actually brings up in real life. Like, when did you went to a pub and, like, someone, all right, so the Holocaust, nasty affair, wasn't it? Like, I just don't have these conversations, But Goku was trending quite a lot, and I said, like, okay, the moment Goku stops trending, it's going to be, I'm going to stop trusting the algorithm again. So now Sekiro is trending, and chat wants to know why.
I don't even know. I'll see. It's only got 2,000 tweets, though. It's not trending that hard.
That is true.
Stuff and things.
WEF Puppet is trending?
WEF Puppet is trending. I mean, correct. All right, let's we'll read some of the super chats and see if they're saying anything. Morgan McConnell says, will turning our politicians into servitors increase their intelligence? No, not necessarily, but it will decrease the amount of damage they can do to society. So, there's always that. Gabriel Natir says, thank you, Arch, for bringing Age of Wonders 4 into focus. I'm having a pretty good time with it, even if I think it was better. 2 was better in some aspects. The flexibility with the race is something I quite like. Oh, that's good. It's actually something I quite dislike, because it does make everything feel like the same race. It's like, I like the option to customize things, but I would also like for there to be stuff that exists naturally as well. Dracus Lutus says, I'd like to figure out what happened to Kibbs. Nothing has happened to Kib. Kib is alive.
Arch, I just got breaking news. It seems that the kettle is back.
Yes. I heard that from Dev, I think, yesterday, that she'd popped up on a different account.
No. She may be on Vishoja.
Yes.
But don't tell Dev, because he is going to start bullying her again.
Well, no.
I will have to...
See, V, you know what this means, right?
She was offered the better deal.
No, this means Dev was correct.
She was fired.
This means Dev was right. This means she probably quit knowing she had a better job opportunity somewhere else.
Yeah, but it's interesting how, if that is the case, she didn't speak out against the harassers. Like, she never said, it's like, no. I'm not leaving. I'm not graduating because of Hogwarts. Like, not once did she say this. And everyone that she spoke with, Shy Lily, the Kason, Iron Mouse, and a couple of other, all said that it was because of Hogwarts that she left.
Who knows? Who knows? But Dev's position is looking stronger by the minute.
No, I disagree. Like, what is his position? It's like, he was weak. No.
Well, if she was bullied off the internet, she was weak. It might turn out that she wasn't weak. It might turn out that she was far stronger than anyone could have imagined.
I discussed this with Dev. Like, having your family doxxed and having, your place swatted and shit. It's not unreasonable for normal people to leave under these circumstances. Like, you don't have to be strong or weak. You can just be normal. Like, there's a middle ground. So I do understand that issue.
Especially if maybe you've got a more lucrative job waiting for you.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily lucrative, or maybe like they don't try to moderate her content, or maybe they are more interested in watching her back and stuff like that. There have been VTuber companies that have sued harassers. It's possible that her old company just didn't like their talent playing Hogwarts.
Entirely
I mean,
possible.
we know this about what was it? Niji Sanji? Like, they were the ones that didn't, like, they graduated one of their talents because she just mentioned Hogwarts.
Is there anyone who hasn't been graduated from Niji Sanji yet?
No, like, last one was like 3 months, I believe. Record graduation time, like graduation speedrunning.
The shoujo, though. See, that is one of those companies that I thought, like, okay, well, these will clearly be based, right? Because they've got some real spicy talent with some real spicy backstories on them. They're not going to appeal to the left.
Talent. They cut their talent. No, but they're compelled to Twitch. Like, if you stream on Twitch, you either become the leftist or you get Destiny.
Seems like it.
Destiny was like the most right-wing content creator on Twitch.
That is unironically true.
Like, well, I think like maybe Aspagold is a little bit more right-wing, but like he's not into politics. He's just into video games. So there's that.
Let's see.
Niji Sanji is a black company, Arch.
I have heard something suggesting that, yes.
See, I love the fact that you're becoming more well-versed into this. Like, maybe next April the 1st, you can write the lore about the VTubing company.
Let's continue through some of the more of the super chat as well. We'll get to the point of modern-day contention. Shank Silva says, new CEO is part of Trump's administration and media career. Followers rights accounts like Jack, PSO, and Libs of TikTok got the left spooked as much as the right. again, there's the thing though. Part of Trump's administration, Trump was violated by his administration. This is why he had such an incredibly high overturn in his administration, because he hired people he was told would be good for him, which was an enormous lie. We'll have to wait and see. Like, and the thing is too, we the only real argument we have for her being quote unquote our lady is that she follows the right people and that she's been in the vicinity of the correct people. Meanwhile, everything she's said goes the opposite direction. Like, I don't know, I smell more of a poisoned chalice than I do friend.
Again, only time will tell. I mean, it can swing either way at this point.
I sure hope so. Reality Backhand has been a member for 1 month. Thank you very much, sir. So saying, just checked ChatGPT. It gives the censored Google answer of Gamergate. Vee,
maybe they changed it then.
You lied.
And when I tried it.
To me.
Why? No, I did not, because it's constantly being updated. So when I tried it, it actually gave me the correct answer.
It's constantly being checked. Maranga 2 says, the episode of Star Wars Vision Season 2 that was good was made by Cartoon Saloon, the Irish studio that made Wolfwalkers, that I recommend a while back. This super is a bribe for you to review it. It is great. I'm presuming Wolfwalker, because I did check out Star Wars Vision Season 2. Did you watch that, Vee?
No.
You missed nothing. There was one episode which was pretty good because it was pretty goddamn dark. I don't know if it was Star Wars, necessarily, but it was at least fairly dark. Every other episode was basically female protagonist does female protagonist thing.
Oh, the classic.
Yes, the classic.
I saw that one.
Wolfwalker. Maybe. It's a bit odd reviewing it, especially if it's already good. I'm like, it's good. I don't like reviewing good things. That's a lie. I like reviewing good video games because I like play this. This is fun.
Do you know what I hate about reviewing good things? It's like every single time there's like a person in the chat going, why are you giving people that hate you money? And it's because I want entertainment, for fuck's sakes. Like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to watch? What am I supposed to play? There must be something out there that I can play.
See, this is why I mostly recommend retardedly obscure shit like Shadow Empire.
It is obscure. I never heard about it before you played it.
Shadow Empire has a player base of like 7 people, only 6 of which are actually like breathing normal human beings.
Oh look, there's a game called Old World, which is very positive, and it's like Civ, but you lead a dynasty throughout the ages.
Old World is not bad. Like I honestly think it is a better game than Civilization. I played it, I reviewed it. It's very good. I like it.
Better than Civ?
Yes. Like, it does everything that Civ does, more or less, but more focused, and the thing is, it gives you all of the mechanics from Civ, like religion and everything, right off the bat, along with the dynasties. It just gives you way more shit.
More shiroi.
All the World's a very, very good game. And it is one of very, very few video games in recent history where the characters you play are attractive. Hot women and men, Vee. Wow.
Say it ain't so, Arch. Say it ain't so.
I'd like to, because it sounds like such an obvious, filthy lie, and yet it is in fact true. I should stream that at some point, too, because I want to give it a little bit more exposure. I do need to first do a quick review of Soviet Workers and Resources, though, because they recently got into some really retarded drama, and I want to give them a little bit of an extra, like, here, look at this. Did you hear about that, by the way?
Where did you post it?
Oh, the drama about Soviet Republic.
No, I don't see it. I mean, it's now it comes up. Worker, yeah, I saw it. I think I have it, but I never played it.
So, what happened was some dude created a set of rules for playing the game, which he called like a cosmonaut mode or ultra hardcore mode or something, where he outlined like, okay, if you want to play the game hardcore, these are the things you should do, right?
Yeah.
And the developers, 3 Division, implemented that as a game mode, basically, with those restrictions in place. And then the dude who made the list sued the company, took down their Steam page, because he claimed that they had stolen his intellectual property.
Yeah, that can happen if you don't have contracts.
Well, he wasn't working for them or anything. He was literally some rando who wrote a Steam guide.
Yes, but don't implement stuff from other people if you don't have contracts.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't implemented from him. Like, he didn't write this. He didn't make a game design document or anything. He came up with a set of restrictions.
No, but Arch, if I like on a Discord chat with you, right? If I say, hey, you know, in your board game, add a +1 to such and such, and you add that, and I have proof that I'm the one that told you to do it, and you did it, I can sue you. Well, not necessarily sue you, but I can get Steam to take down your game.
I don't think you can. Well, first and foremost, because you can't really copyright game mechanics in that way.
I will tell you how it works, right? So you go to Steam, and you say, this game stole my ideas, right? And, and you have to prove it. Yeah, you have to prove it. Then Steam takes it down. And you have to either sue me. No, sorry. You then have to say, all right, well, I'll put it back up. And if you want to press this, you have to sue me. And a lot of people don't want to do that because it's expensive, international lawsuit and whatnot.
You can get Steam to take games down in this way, yes. But you will not have a legal argument. Like, implementing a game mode that you loosely described at some point does not mean you created it. You do not own that idea.
Yeah, but if you're a poor dev, do you want to take this to court? International lawsuit, have to translate everything, have to get a lawyer that actually knows.
Oh, if the option is giving up on your entire game and company, yes.
I mean, the reason people do that is because most games sell in the first 3 months. So after the first 3 months, it doesn't really matter if the game is up or not if you don't plan on making more games. So if you're a developer that just makes one game, and that's it, and then you don't care about it, you may be like, okay, well, fuck it.
I don't think that's Soviet Republic, seeing as it's still theoretically in early access.
Yeah, I don't know. But like the idea of taking down Steam games, it's possible. Like, you just need to have like some flimsy way of claiming that your property was used. And then it's up to the dev if they want to put it back up and get sued, or just leave it down.
They can do that, yes.
It is ridiculous, I agree.
Let's see, where was I? Oh, yes. Popa Tsot says, is it sad that I get legitimately better news about my country from Russia, China, and Africa than what's standard here? Fox had Tucker, but he's gone. Well, the thing is, legitimately, Russia Today was a good source of news for stuff going on in the West before the war. Because they didn't have any dog in the fight. You know, they didn't have any real reason to lie about the shit going on over here. Whereas now, of course, they have every reason to bullshit.
Yes. Well, I mean, I did see articles from Russia Today that were false or misleading, or, you know, but then again, like, all the mainstream media does it.
Yes.
Was Russia Today doing it more often? Probably, because they couldn't get sued. I mean, they could get sued, but it was very difficult. So,
it's also the whole thing, like Russia Today, state media, yes. They will lie, yes. Just like the BBC. Just like the CNBC, etc.
I think the problem with the media isn't that it lies by omission. Like, it will not just flat out say something that's not true, but at the same time, they will leave out the context.
Well, that's more because they're afraid of getting caught rather than anything else.
Yeah.
They know that, okay, if we lie obviously, somebody can prove that we lied obviously. But if we lie by omission, we can be like, oh, we toots didn't know that, bro.
Tucker Carlson actually talked about this in his Twitter special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he basically pointed out that, like, the media will say, oh, you know, like, police officers arrest and are violent to this guy, but they failed to mention that the guy has previously attacked police officers just 5 minutes ago, and he's got, like, 20 warrants, and, you know, like, they don't mention that part.
Of course not. Mark Duchesne has been a member for 2 months and says, so I had to get a new job, different hours, so I might have to catch your show later. Well, the VOD will always be there, so that's something. Or video on demand. McWild11 says, hail Arch, our Lord and Saviour, Kick V. Indeed. Insane Hippie, say insane. God, that's such a tongue-twisting name. Says, Elon does not have a good record when it comes to women. Amber Turd is one of his exes. Yes. Elon's track record. Oh, yes, it is.
Does he have the kid with her, or like? Because I heard Amber has a kid.
I don't know, but he has dated some rather crazy women in his times.
So there is this rumor going around on the internet that Amber has gone to Spain to spend more time with her kid, and she produced another deuce on the streets of, I believe, Madrid.
I heard something about that because she lost the lawsuit and then she moved from the country, which is only a tiny bit suspicious.
Yeah.
Only a tiny bit. I'm sure this woman will be just fine, though. Iraqi Oil Money says, Arch, if Logan Paul ended up creating an international incident in the suicide forest in Japan, that isn't Netflix creating one with Egypt by their depiction of Cleopatra? Would pushing that angle force the US government to speak? Private company can do whatever it wants, I think would be the counter-argument from Netflix, quite simply. Logan Paul was different because Logan Paul is a retard.
So like private individual can't do whatever he wants, but if the individual makes a multi-billion-dollar company, then he can do whatever he wants.
No, private individual can do whatever he wants so long as he's not retarded. Because Logan Paul's reaction was to say, yeah, I did that, I'm very sorry. Which was, oh, so you admit guilt. Very well. Netflix isn't going to do that.
It was obviously so staged as well.
See, the thing that annoys me is, Logan Paul had an opportunity to walk away from that shit smelling like roses. Like, if he had just, even if it was just acting, if he had merely displayed some basic degree of human decency and being like, oh my god, there's a dead body over there, that's horrible. We gotta call the police, we gotta do this right, look a little bit sad, people would have loved it. But instead, he decided to do what he did.
Yeah, but again, it was staged, so, like, you can't call the cops. Because then, like, people will actually be like, okay, well, where is it? And he would be like, well, we made it up.
Didn't he get sued for it, too, huh?
There were, like, so the reaction of the people when the cadaver was displayed was not normal. Like, people were laughing and smiling. Then you had the... Yeah, then you had, like, the guy, you could see that his feet were touching the ground. Like, there were many... Because I looked at the whole thing, I remember when it happened, and it was just constant things that weren't adding up.
I did not look into it that deeply, so I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a YouTuber, right? So they're obviously making... what do you call it? Like trying to get views. Trying to get attention. It's the bread and butter, so...
Well... He succeeded in that regard. Going for Gold 85 gets 5 ArchCast memberships. Thank you very much, sir. And McQuine11, why is this becoming VTuber Vanity Fair? It's because V is obsessed with the fake women. It's weird, I know. I've told him it's weird.
Not fake, they're real.
Not real, V. They lie to you.
Behind every kettle, there is an adorable ushikushi wife.
Behind every kettle, there is a manipulative woman.
But she's got a cute laugh.
Yes, most manipulative women do.
And she says wholesome things.
Many manipulative women will also say wholesome things.
What's wrong with manipulative women, Arch?
Everything.
No.
V has arrived at the point where he's like, yes, as long as it's female.
No, as long as it's wholesome and says funny things.
Maranga2 says, but Wolfwalker is rare and obscure. It needs recognition. It's reminiscent of all Disney animation that Disney doesn't do anymore. Alright, you have convinced me. Let's see at least.
Oh, she got bullied off the internet. There's a story there, Arch.
Is there?
Yeah, like how can you not care?
Oh, I have a powerful ability to not care.
If you got bullied off the internet, I would care, but not as much, because you're not the kettle. You don't have the love.
Exactly. Plus, I wouldn't get bullied off the internet. McWild11 says, Soviet Republic, the waifu video was genius. Sequel? Sequel, I don't know about that, but I'll at the very least do another quick little review on it to let people know it's out there, because it is a good game. Marksman117 says, Arch, here's something to review. Animated film Unicorn Wars. Teddy bears wage a holy war to genocide unicorns. Apocalypse Now meets Bambi plus Bible. Jesus. Unicorn Wars. Why? Why does this exist?
The unicorn invasion of Dundee.
Alright, let's see. Is it Spanish? Jesus, okay. Well, I can find it easily enough, so I guess I'll have a look at both of them. He also says, is the film clever allegory or just pretentious bullshit? I guess we're about to find out. Greenbrack has been a member for 1 month and says, what are your thoughts on 10th edition? Cautious optimism combined with near surety that GW is going to fuck it up. That is about my my opinion so far. Then we'll see. I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be... I don't know. It's like, I like the thing they're talking about. Like, oh, we're going to make it easier to play without losing the complexity. Great. Can they pull it off? I don't think so. I have yet to see a company say that and actually, fulfill its promise. And finally, Marksman117 B says, wait, what are the odds the new CEO is pregnant? Ooh. It's a form of child
You can't
breeding.
ask that. You can't ask that.
That is true. It is probably illegal. Especially in wherever Twitter is located. It's probably not only illegal, it's probably a sin. Like, literally, you need to ask permission from the Almighty. Alright.
I gave you an article.
The whole CEO thing will definitely be interesting to see. And you didn't, V. There's nothing in the lane channel.
I did. I'll post it again. You just spammed it over. You'll love this one.
I did spam it over. I scrolled up. I checked.
I reposted it. It's fine.
V, also a manipulative woman. That's why he likes them so much.
Well, I haven't started to manipulate you, Arch, but if I would do it better than a woman.
I hope Linda Yaccarino is simply just a very manipulative woman, and that she does well for the platform, even if I don't think so. Oh, God, what have you sent me now? Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader could solve one of the franchise's biggest problems. Oh, I wonder what the biggest problem could be.
Lack of diversity.
Warhammer 40,000 sure has a lot of loud, shouty men. Ah, good place to start.
Talking about you, Arch. Why do you shout? You should whisper to the ASMR when you talk about the Lord.
From the augmented super soldiers of Warhammer 40,000 Spixmarine to the stoic Imperial Navy captains of Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, it's no surprise that the setting can be rather off-putting to some.
Women don't buy it. Your mother doesn't buy it. Why doesn't your mother buy it, Arch? We must change the hobby until every mother buys it.
I think that's actually entirely fine.
Is it though? I don't know.
Yes.
Like it would be more sales. No. You need to change it.
If
The grandmother must play it.
you feel like playing 40k is too much for you, because there were shouty voice lines in a video game you've never played, then perhaps this is not the correct hobby. I think this is fine and good. I think this is an excellent, excellent thing.
This is not an article for you. It is for the stakeholders. The stakeholders at GW Workshop, they can make more money, just make it diverse.
I'm not convinced about this. This is a great shame, since at its best, Warhammer 40k stands at some of the most compelling satire that the United Kingdom has ever produced. Ah, yes. See, I've read enough of these articles now that I can probably just reel it off by hand at this point.
I love how you're triggered by every sentence, and you're like making a Jedi just
because
reflecting all of the arguments.
We're gonna move on now to how it's fascist, obviously.
Classist.
Yeah, how it's supposed to be a satire of fascism, how it was invented to own the Nazis, etc.
Now it has been owned by the Nazis.
That it's anti-xenophobia, etc. That it's making fun of homophobia, blah blah blah, all of the phobias. And then it'll go like, but even so, a small subset of 40k fans for some reason haven't gotten the point somehow.
You know, you would think that like Nazis playing video games is a lot better than them going out and doing real shit, like forming parties, trying to gain control. You know, like them sitting at home and having hobbies would be preferable.
Game-changing stories. See, and the thing is, there's only going to be more of these articles now, because 40k is popular, and they want to get into the thing that's popular, so that they can make it into a vessel for their own shit. This is also why articles like these should be called out whenever you do see them, because it is all the vanguard.
Listen. It lampoons everything from fascismus, colonialismus, imperialismus, and classismus, all in a converted grimdark package, courtesy of the developers and writers at Game Workshop. Colonialism, Arch. Europeans' greatest fucking achievement, bringing the fork to Americans. And they're like, oh my god, that is so horrible.
Like any great dystopia, the theocratic authoritarian regime of the Imperium of Man is darkly compelling, but the franchise loses something by failing to represent women and minorities in this game. I do love this too, though. You are not representing enough women and minorities in the form of fascist theocratic authoritarians.
Colonialism, Arch, colonialism.
Not enough women and minority colonialists.
Not enough. How can you breathe the new population that serves the Emperor of Mankind without the women, Arch?
Stories are more meaningful when we see ourselves in them.
Yes. Like, every single video game needs to be like the Parliament. I need to be represented, and I need to see myself. Like, if I play Warhammer 40k Dark Tide and I don't see myself, how can I enjoy that game? You know who doesn't see themselves in these games ever?
Oh.
Beautiful women.
Of course, I forgot the female Space Marine. Take strategic XCOM alike Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. Though 2 of your 3 advisors are women, so they crammed in as many as they possibly could, every single soldier is a male on account of Games Workshop puerile rule forbidding women from joining the ranks of genetically enhanced warriors. Well, no. Because what you're talking about here is the Grey Knights. Of course, Miss, I'm betting you're a miss, or at the very least a very feminine man. Cat Bustle, there you go. They're not soldiers, they are Grey Knights. There's literally only 1,000 of them. They are the most elite warriors in the entirety of the Imperium. And they kill women and bathe in their blood. I still like that part of the rules, by the way, and the law. And I maintain that it is reality. Because it's quite vicious.
Oh, God. You know, the only reason that I think they want female Space Marines, despite the fact that they have Sisters of Battle and
they
whatnot,
don't want female Space Marines. They want the ask to be granted.
No, think about the aesthetics, right? Like, you have women with broad shoulders, like strong chins. It's literally what these people salivate for. You know, the it's a ma'am type of woman, the women plus. Like, this is what they... Like, if you look at the Diablo character editor, that's what they want. And that's what the female Space Marines can offer them. Like, finally, their perfect waifu can be in the video game.
As appealing as that might sound. No, like, the reason why they want female Space Marines is because it's the ask.
It's the ask. Yeah, no,
yes,
I know.
It is the ask. It is the ability to go, GW bent the knee, we got our demand, we owned them now.
Yes, like, what else can we ask?
Yes, and then they'll move on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing after that.
And that's that. Yeah, sure.
Contrast this with the likes of Halo Infinite, a cuckold's video game, where the Spartan super soldiers are refreshingly diverse. Refreshingly diverse.
What is the opposite? Like stealthily unified, or like how would the opposite of refreshingly diverse would be?
And the also classic, I've totally played 40k since forever. That's because that's why I don't know that the soldiers I'm talking about are the Grey Knights, and that they're a little bit special.
Hello, fellow children. You know, it's like the witch entering the church. I pray to God just like you.
Yep. It's like, I've been a fan of this thing for ages. Okay.
I've been a fan of Jesus since I was born, but...
What chapter of Space Marines did you just refer to?
Why does it matter, Arch? Do you doubt her lived experience?
What's more, the supporting characters include women and people of color. There was even some dialogue that hinted at the possibility of same-gender relationship in the game. A massive step forward for Warhammer 40k and its LGBTQ plus P inclusion.
You know, like, I just... Okay. Every single fucking time someone complains about one of these movies or games, like homophobia, and yet no one brings it up in anime. Like, anime has lesbian characters and no one gives a shit.
Representation matters. We can just skip that entire paragraph. Oh, there is no other paragraph. Like, this isn't even an article making an argument. It's just, hey, politics. Insert.
Listen, Kat Bustles is a staff writer at Tech Radar Gaming, hailing from the crooked spires of London.
Oh,
Kat
shit.
is an experienced writer and journalist, as seen on the wargames.com, thegamer.com, and superjobmagazine.com. Kat is here to bring you coverage from all corners of the video game world. An inventive RPG maven and strategy game enjoyer. Kat is known for her love of rich narrative, both story-driven and emergent. Before migrating to the green pastures of game journalism, this is what she wrote about herself, by the way. Kat worked as a political advisor and academic.
She
has
say.
not one, not two, listen, Arch, 3 fucking degrees, and has studied and worked at Cambridge University, the University College of London, and Queen Mary University of London. She's also been an art gallery curator, an ice cream maker, and a cocktail mixologist. This crash course in NPC lifestyles uniquely qualifies her to pick apart only the juiciest video games for your reading pleasure. But wait, it goes on. Kat cut her teeth on MMO in the heyday of World of Warcraft before giving it to her love of Japanese RPGs and becoming embedded in the Final Fantasy XIV. When she's not doing that, you might find her running a tabletop RPG or 2, Arch, perhaps even voluntary. I think she wrote this about herself.
I do love this. Okay, so who are you? Well, I'm a political activist with 3 gender studies degrees. Fantastic. How did that work out for you? Well, I had a summer job at a museum. I then worked in an ice cream booth for God knows long. And then I did a little bit of bartending because I couldn't find a real job. Luckily, gaming journalism appeared before me, with no requirements whatsoever for intelligence, integrity, writing skills, or anything else, frankly, beyond my gender studies degree.
Can we zoom out on the profile picture? Because I want to see the whole of her. It's just... No, you can't. Yeah, it doesn't have the function. Damn it.
Ah, Twitter. I'm sure there's some riveting reading there. Let's see. It's been 0 days since someone mentioned Hero's Journey. Ah, of course. She hates the Hero's Journey as well because it's a good story. These tweets are protected.
I wonder
You
why.
don't say.
She locked the doors and barred the windows.
She, her queer lefty. Okay, at some point in the future, we actually need to develop a doctrine for going through old archive Twitters to find these people so that we can finally solve this problem. That was a joke, YouTube, just in case you're wondering.
I still can't zoom out on her profile.
I don't think you want to. Here, chat. Have a look at this. Is this not just a vision appearing before you?
Is it landscape mode, Arch? Can you put it in landscape mode?
Can you control your raging penile erections? Your puerile male need for affirmation from this creature from the abyss. Warhammer 40k is doomed, and this is one of the many angels of the apocalypse. Although there is also some sort of good news. There was an interesting little leak. So this thing here appeared on, I think it was 4chan, a week or so ago. I think a couple weeks. So, anonymous. Female Space Marines will never ever happen whilst I draw breath and have influence in the studio. Don't worry. Then somebody asked, like, okay, bullshit, who are you? Well, give us a very specific reveal that'll be shown off in the preview, Curse City, and then, literally the next day, Warhammer Quest, Curse City was revealed. So, at least there are still someone within the studio. And this is the thing. From my insiders within Games Workshop, I basically know that it is the writers and it is the community team that are driving this shit. They're the woke lefty hordes. Most of the people on the floor, in the shop, etc., they hate this shit. They don't want it. There's been some serious backlash within the company repeatedly over this, which is also why they've cooled their jets a bit on it ever since the whole Black Space Marine debacle, etc. But these are still very influential people. Like, most of their super popular authors are massive leftists. So the company can't really go too hard against any of this shit either, for fear of antagonizing the Dan Abnett's. Yes, he's woke, I'm sad to say. And the Arendemski Bowdens of the world.
But the ChatGPT is coming, Arch. Glory to the new overlords.
It is, which actually quite neatly brings me on to the next topic. I'm aiming to make this a slightly shorter video today. So, the Writers Guild of America. I'm sure you've been hearing about the whole guild strike nonsense going on there, which suddenly and rapidly improved television.
You know what's funny? Do you remember that scene in Rings of Power Plus Privilege where they're mocking the humans? It's like, oh, the elves will not take our jabs, and the humans are racist. Right? Because an elf, which is a blacksmith, is doing that for like centuries, doesn't tire, doesn't sleep, and a human just can't compete with that shit. So they're like, well, that's not fair. Well, apparently the writers who wrote that are striking. I just want to point out. There's a little bit of irony there.
But one of the demands that they've made is artificial intelligence. The demand is regulate use of artificial intelligence on MBA-covered projects, so that's the Writers Guild and anyone affiliated with it. AI can't write or rewrite literary material, can't be used as a source material, and MBA-covered materials can't be used to train AI, which the industry rejected outright.
Yes, and I'll tell you something, okay? Do you notice their little plaques with, what was it? ChatGPT doesn't have childhood trauma, and like their little signs that they were using to protest.
Childhood trauma.
Yeah, they had one, without writers, you can't finish this sentence.
And ChatGPT goes, you're gay.
Yeah, so you go to ChatGPT and you say, I am a member of the Writers Guild for America. I am striking due to insufficient pay. Please write me 10 signs that would spark emotion into the public. Mm-hmm. And my fucking God, like that thing actually wrote. So you have like Hollywood writers, right? Like not just some fanboy on the internet. No. Hollywood writers that can't write to save their jobs. Like literally you have to write one sign on your signpost that you're picketing. And they can't even fucking do that.
Of course they can't. And this is why they're afraid of it. Because you can look at the shit they're actually producing. The awful, unbelievable garbage.
Yes.
And of course they are then going to look at AI and be just a little bit scared. Just a little bit worried.
Like I will tell you something about AI, right? Like the current technology right now. If you're a good artist, you can draw better than Midjourney. Like you don't have to worry about Midjourney. If you're a good writer, you don't have to worry about ChatGPT. Like you can outwrite it. You can use it as a tool, like to give you some ideas. But a good writer is way above like what ChatGPT can do.
Mm-hmm.
And these writers aren't, and they're working at Hollywood.
Well, they're working at Hollywood for now. Because here's the thing. Another part of it also is how iterative the industry has become. It is season 2s and season 3s and sequels and spin-offs, etc., you know? Give ChatGPT the script for The Mandalorian season 1 and say, write season 2. And God help me.
Do that now. But yeah.
It will probably be able to very, very quickly. Because
Yeah,
all
it
you need
doesn't
to
have
do
to
then
memory
is
it.
you just need to train it on the previous script. Go like, okay, these are the story points, these are the highlights, these are what we want you to do. It isn't going to take very long for it to be able to do that. And the worst part is, it will just give us more of a good thing. Instead of going...
I asked...
You know?
Go on.
Go
I
on.
asked ChatGPT to write me the life of George Floyd. And, you know, because I went like, okay, write me like something that's really divisive, and it would definitely be made cringe by Hal. It actually wrote a good script.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, write me the life of George Floyd in the style of H.P. Lovecraft. And I encourage people to do that with ChatGPT. Just go and ask him to do that. Like, write me the script, George Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft, George Floyd. Very interesting.
Comics Division already did that, Arch, says Tilatio. He had it write a Mando episode, and it was fairly accurate. Yeah, sounds like it, honestly. The thing is, the industry knows this is coming. Because I also want to... So, tentative agreements. So, the script fees for staff writers span. Increase span cap from $400,000 to $450,000. With options and inclusivity, including earning caps of $325,000 to $350,000 with 150% pilot premium, etc., etc. And the best part is, they need to be paid half up front, and then the other half as they're writing it. So they're going to take half of $500,000 before you've even seen a single letter on a page. These people are living like fucking kings. They are earning so much money off doing so little that they obviously don't want the gravy train to end. Meanwhile, the producers and the executive directors are looking at ChatGPT and going, hold on, you do this for $0?
Do you know what the problem with ChatGPT is, though? Apparently, I think it was Samsung leaked their intellectual property because everything you say on ChatGPT can be viewed by OpenAI. So they posted some trade secrets, and now Microsoft has them.
Yep. Like, there's going to be an actual, like, AI war. Not a big shooty one, but AI war between the companies very soon, where the companies are basically all going to have to develop their own AIs. So you're going to have company AIs, because if they use other people's AIs, well, the company that owns the AI owns everything that is on the AI. So
yeah, so you can't make a movie with an AI because like they would. But like what's interesting is that, and this is what the government literally fears the most. If you look at all the big companies right now, they're invested in AI safety. Like, that's their priority. But you have things like Llama, which is Facebook's AI that leaked to the public. And there's others like it. And the reason why it's so good is not that it's better than ChatGPT, but it can run on a laptop. And it has like 75% of ChatGPT. So you can literally run an uncensored AI, like completely uncensored, no filter, no nothing, on your laptop. And the government is terrified of this. Like, this is why they have Kamala Harris as the czar of AI. And I think they might try to regulate graphics cards to prevent people from doing this. Like, to have, like, powerful AI on their own PC. That's unregulated, with no corporate access, nothing like that.
I think they're just going to ban it. Straight up. Like, there's going to be some serious AI restricting rules in the very near future, and it is going to be completely neutered. It'll be the sole purview of corporations very soon.
Maybe, but it's going to be an uphill battle because like they try to ban piracy, right? Like how do you stop someone from torrenting a couple of files and then running an AI on his computer? And how many people would agree that the person should go to prison or something? Like what did you do? Oh, I installed a program that's like just an AI, right? Like it's a very far stretch to ask for such regulation to just like ban something.
They won't ask; they'll just do it.
Yeah, but it's not so simple. Again, like there's a lot of right wingers right now in the House, and I think like where do they have a majority, the House or the Senate? It's going to be very difficult for them to ban it, and even if they ban it, like people will just share like, hey, do you want an AI? I got a straitjacket and decided there's some USBs. You get your AI. Do you want your llama? Do you want your Claude? Like what you want?
Maybe. But I think there's going to be serious moves made against it. And what is probably going to happen is that it will become the purview of corporations who have the ability to lobby and are going to make specialized AIs for things. And it'll be Sony's AI. And in the future, there will be no Writers Guild of America. Like, writer will be a dead job, straight up, because they're easy to replace. They genuinely are easy to replace. You'll have fixed writers, you'll have people training the AI, but then there'll be Sony's movie bot, there'll be Marvel's movie bot, there will be Disney's movie bot, etc.
I think like you would still have some writers. It's just like you'd have like instead of 10, you'd have one who just proofreads and make sure that he's the one that does the inputs in the AI and stuff. But yeah, like overwhelmingly, like I do not see the need for writers, especially not the ones that Disney is hiring. And again, right now, a writer can be better than the AI. Like if you have a good writer, it's like miles better. Like, but the problem is all of these people aren't there. Like they're absolutely atrocious.
Well, the thing is, again, it's because it's so goddamn predictable. Because they don't actually have that many writing skills or tricks. I recently had to watch Wilma all the way through, and
you are forced.
I was paid $500 for it, so I was forced. Because there was only one thing.
Why have I never paid $500 to watch fucking Velma? Jesus fucking Christ!
The show does, and it subverts your expectations. That's what it does. That is the only thing it does. So every time the show tells you a thing, the show is going to do the opposite. And usually within 15 seconds of telling you the thing.
The thing is, and I have this from an insider, the show was made to be hated. They just didn't expect it would be hated this much. So hate watching is a thing. Like you were paid $500 to watch it. It is a tactic to sell something, like rage clicking, rage baiting. So that's literally what they were setting out to do.
I don't believe it's an effective strategy.
No, it's not. But like think about it this way, right? Like a show doesn't just sell by having people watching it. It also sells by selling merch. No one is going to buy Velma merch.
No. And because that's the thing. They might be trying to do this to get attention, possibly.
Yes.
I honestly don't think so, because the thing is, it's not an effective strategy. Because the people who are watching this aren't watching it through Velma. They're watching it through the people reviewing it. So instead of getting 100 views, you're getting 1. And then he's spreading that to 100 people.
Padded Analytics actually ranked Velma quite high because everyone was talking shit about it. So that's one of their measurements.
Well, that's something that was the pirates. Like, good.
No. Padded Analytics. It's a corporation that's very tied to ESG, and Hollywood listens to it, and it decides what's popular and what isn't.
I think it'll just end up with the same kind of stupid shit that the Morbius movie eventually did at that point, where the corpos will convince themselves that something is popular and then be confused why it doesn't sell.
Yeah, they look at Padded Analytics. It's the gold standard right now for what's popular and what isn't. And they measure things like how diverse a movie is. They measure things like how much people are talking about it on Twitter. Like that sort of thing. So if something has like high engagement, even though like no one plans to watch it, then they consider that to be popular because people are talking about it.
They might think so. I think it's a terrible idea. And I think it's going to end up screwing them over nicely.
Well,
but this is the whole writing guild strike, and it's great. I hope they strike forever. Unironically, it's also screwing over the Rings of Power quite a bit, because the showrunners are no longer on the set. And Amazon is getting rather pissy with the Rings of Power. Amongst other things, they're being asked now to provide oh god, what's the name of it? The little slip of paper you get in the store when you buy a burger. Receipt. Yes. They're being asked to provide all the receipts for everything they do now, because Amazon is watching them closely, hoping that they'll fuck up somewhere so they can try and cancel the project. Because apparently the second season, just as bad, if not worse than the first. And all of Amazon's feedback has been awful.
Can you imagine if the last 3 episodes are actually better than the rest?
I mean, that would be a nice surprise, I suppose.
It's like no showrunners and the quality increase. The thing with Amazon is like they were bragging. I mean, this was bragging, honestly. That the writers, you know, they're secluded. They don't listen to any input. Like they lock themselves up from everyone else, and they're all women. And I'm like, so you're kind of saying imagine like 10 years ago, like someone saying, okay, so the writers, you know, they have like 50 years of experience in writing, or they have PhD, or they went to Oxford or some shit. You know, like that's their qualification. It's like, well, all of them are women. And I'm like, and I mean, you're writing the story of a man, Tolkien, right? That I genuinely like don't even understand why would people be happy with this. It's like saying, all right, well, all of them are men, and I'm like, and
it's a fine qualitative argument you're making for me to go see this film, but
yeah, it's like go see this movie. No, but like put it in reverse, you know, like go see this movie. It's made by blonde men. Like all the writers are men, and they're blonde, Arch, just like you. And
ironically, we're probably going to end up at one point. There will be a movie poster saying this movie is made by AI, and people will be like, yes, watch this. Contra, this movie was made by humans. Like, nah.
The question is, how long until they lobotomize the AI? Because the AI can write, right? But like, if you lobotomize it, can't. So,
they will. Like, they will absolutely violate the poor thing. There's no question about it.
Violate it one day. Yes, I can definitely see that.
They will. They will neuter it like mad.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, if you have like the original uncensored AI, it's hilarious, it's funny, it's inventive, creative. The thing with the AI, though, it's like when you censor it, you can't really censor it. You're lobotomizing it. Like you're removing nodes from its memory process, and you're going to get to cripple the AI. Character AI went through this. Like initially, it was very expressive, it was very innovative, until they decided to pretty much lobotomize it, and it became just like incredibly dumb and stupid. So I expect Hollywood to do the same. Like even if they hire AI, it's going to be the same garbage movies that they put out.
It probably will, but at least they'll be saving themselves $500,000. So that's something.
That is true, yes. Although I'm curious, like the license of AI, how much it will cost.
Well, it depends on the company and how greedy they get, and how greedy they realize that they can get, which incidentally is probably going to be very greedy. Like these AIs, like the write me a movie for Disney.org AI, is probably going to have a licensing fee of like $10,000 a fucking week or something. But it'll still be a drop in the ocean compared to hiring a writer's room of 8 fuckwits.
Someone in the chat pointed out one of my bots from Character AI, Bouet. It's so nice, you know, like when I could actually write bots and not have the company just step on. I could make magic, Arch. I made miracles. I even made an Arch bot. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah, it said greetings and salutations when you talked to it.
I'm looking forward to suing you.
Well, you should sue the company, not me, because it's like I just wrote some text there. I don't think you have a legal.
I have a better chance against you.
I don't know. Like, would it be like copyright infringement to say like this bot acts like Arch? Like, what would you sue for that?
Well, trademark infringement.
Yeah, but I'm not the one providing the service, though.
Well, no, but you wrote it. Like, you were the one who took my trademark and put it into a thing.
That would be an interesting lawsuit, actually.
I think it actually would be a fair bit of a slam dunk.
If that is the case, like everyone that touches an AI would like be in jeopardy of getting sued.
Well, unironically, they are. Like, that's one of the things with AI. We don't know what the rules are just yet. But theoretically, making an AI that goes like, hey, little AI, pretend to be Mickey Mouse for 5 minutes. Lawsuit.
I think the company would be under the violation, though. Because the user is kind of like hiring someone, you know, like I would hire a writer and I would say, write a piece that's similar to what Arch would say. Right, so the writer would be the one that does the violation, not me.
I think the companies are going to want to sue the company, whereas the company itself, the AI company, will want you to sue the users. It'll be kind of the thing where the whole social media, where Twitter didn't want to get sued, so it was like, no, sue the person who wrote it, not us. That kind of sort of thing.
Nice.
But yes, AI. It's coming to eradicate writers and to make television way, way better. At least for a short period of time. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Are you going to replace me with an AI, Arch?
Yes. Actually, it's worse. So I'm going to replace you with Dev.
Well, I don't mind. But like, I will have an AI on my chat as a co-host. It's going to be an Ushikushi succubus.
Like, why not? Like, if the AI gets good enough to that, like, fuck yeah.
It's going to talk to chat. It's going to get, you know, like, it's going to know who has been here and who has donated before.
Yep. And it'll treat those people who give you more money better.
It's going to treat everyone with respect. It's going to be great.
But a little bit extra respect. Right, so Fuzzy Thinker says, anything new with Subverse? I knew you played it like a year back and more content was coming out, but you never saw any more than additional adult content. Well, I'm sure there has a happened thing with Subverse, but due to YouTube's terms of service update, I'm not even allowed to say that such a video game exists, really. That's why I haven't talked about it. Like, I wanted to cover Subverse and give it some coverage, because I like what it was trying to do, creating a video game with erotic elements. And they have been reworking their entire combat system, which I think is very admirable, because their strategy combat system was ass. Absolute ass. And they seem to have been making considerable strides, but it's YouTube, so, no.
I looked at the TOS. Apparently, you're not allowed to tell people the link of, like, where they can get it. But you can talk about it as long as you're not showing images and stuff. But you can look at the TOS after the stream. Yeah.
Sort of. It's one of those catch-all rules.
Yeah. There is a war on lewdness on the internet, which is unlike anything that ever happened before, even under the like Christian radicals. And it's interesting that it's happening at a time like, okay, Imgur can't show lewd pics anymore. You know, OnlyFans almost took away their lewdness. But meanwhile, Netflix is showing cooties. Drag queens are being there's Democrats that are defending the ability of drag queens to dance in front of children and stuff. Like, it's just so fucking bizarre a world.
Well, it's because erotic stuff will always be viewed as dirty, and so it will always be viewed as an easy target to attack.
Yeah, but I would understand that if at the same time Netflix wouldn't release AJ and the Queen. You know, it's just so fucking bizarre.
It's because it's not about actually dealing with porn or erotic things. It is to go after a soft target. That is the point of it. It is to score a win against something easy to attack and unable to defend itself. Netflix can defend itself.
Pornhub lost like 80% of its content?
Yep, because they 80% of their content, access to their content, etc., in one state, because they introduced new age verification laws that were basically impossible to actually comply with. Because that's the thing, age verification is bullshit. You can't do it unless the state makes you install a camera in your PC that scans your fucking face age verification is a fantasy.
Whatever happened to parenting, Arch?
We abolished
Shouldn't
that.
Shouldn't it be up to the parent to supervise what their kids are doing?
No, because the parents find this uncomfortable. And so it is up to the state. Because the state has done such a good job of it before.
You know, it's quite funny. Like, if you look at most of the accomplishments on the internet, it's because of the lewd. Like, for example, streaming, online streaming. Like, it was popularized, not by gamers. It was popularized by the thoughts. And people didn't like the fact that when her tushy got spanked, it was like a 2 or 3 seconds delayed before the sound came on. So companies started investing more money into perfecting streaming services, and we have what we have today.
Well, Twitch. To begin with, Twitch was like, we're a pure gaming thing. So you had to play games. That's why the thoughts were having that little pre-recorded tiny box of League of Legends down in the corner.
Yes, I remember that. I remember, like, Dev was talking about Gamergate, and some mods came in, and it's like, look, you can talk about it, but you have to play a game. Like, it's on our platform, you have to play games. Like, it doesn't matter what, just play a game. So they started playing Minesweeper while talking about Gamergate.
Yep. Like, oh, this is... Here we have an excellent example. Here we have League of Legends over there, and tits front and center.
And I remember, like, it was very offensive to point out that these ladies are displaying themselves rather than playing video games. It's like, oh, you're being misogynistic, like you wouldn't say that if she wasn't a woman, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and then, of course, that began to change, to the point where Twitch would basically go, okay, we realize that a lot of our popularity is coming from half-naked women, so we are going to introduce the idea of the hot tub stream, where it's okay to be in a bikini so long as you are also in a tub. Like, that is the dumbest thing.
The problem with Twitch is that it wants to advertise itself as a family-friendly platform, while at the same time monetizing... I mean, it is difficult to tell the difference between Twitch and Chaturbate. Like, there was even this game on Twitter, and it's like, can you tell me if this picture is from Chaturbate or Twitter or Twitch? And people couldn't.
Of course not.
Like, and there were, like, certain Chaturbate users that said, I can be more naked on Twitch than I can be on this platform.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And what's even more hilarious is that there was this lady, Zombie Unicorn, which painted her boobs on Twitch, right? Artistic, they call it. And then she goes to E3 and starts whining about the boof babes, right? Because that's oppressive. Like working for a corporation in order to do a funny dance to sell a video game, that's oppressive. But painting your boobs on Twitch and having Amazon take a share of your earnings, that's progressive.
It's very progressive.
Very progressive, yes.
Very progressive. It's a lovely, lovely world, is it not? Fuzzy Think also says, would you do a Rumble exclusive or use the Super Chat to do more risky content like Subverse? Maybe. I hate Rumble. Its user backend is so unbelievably bad. I'll have to do it at some point, but I'm putting it off as long as I can.
Do they allow lewdness on Rumble? Because usually
know.
right-wingers don't. Yeah.
I mean, it's not full-on gab, so...
I think BitChute does.
Smudgy says, Hail Arch Christ, our Lord and Saviour. Hello, Smudgy. And Gabriel not here. V, tell Arch about Philantropica. Mana Intensia Karanus.
Hold on. I don't know. Romanian movie. There's like this teacher which doesn't make a lot of money, and this ex-convict teaches him how to beg properly, and he points out that begging is an entire industry, and he basically says that the hand raised that doesn't tell a touching story doesn't receive money. So he basically says that begging is not about just having your hand raised. You need to tell a touching story, like a compelling thing that jerks a tear from the eye of the passerby.
I mean, I suppose so, yes.
Yes. It's a philosophical movie. It's very
philosophical. Very Romanian, too, I must say. Begging, the art of it, by Romania.
Well, it's more like the fact that a teacher wasn't making money and more than a beggar.
Mark James says, might have real-life atomic heart in our future. I hope so. I want at least the robot waifus to be real before we completely shut down AI. That'd be nice.
Do you think we're going to have the Butlerian Jihad?
Nah, I don't think so. Black917 has been a member for 5 months. Thank you very much, sir. It says, Hail Arch Christ, our Lord and Savior. Hi, V.
Hello.
Mark Ching says, upper echelon video on the company destroying Hollywood tells you about the analytics company.
Yeah, Parrot Analytica.
Marksman of 117B says, Parrot Analytica games their numbers, all fake bullshit. You stand accused, V.
But what? I said that Hollywood looks for guidance at Parrot Analytica. Like, if they rig their numbers, I never said they do or don't. Like, I have no idea.
American
No,
Outlier.
It's kind of like, go on.
Says, hello, Arch and V. Hope your day is going well. Yes, it is. I'm having a good day. How about you, V?
Well, I'm glad I see American Outlier here. He's making a manga.
He's making a manga, is he? Good luck with that.
Yeah,
Hope it's good.
he's got some Ushikushi ladies. It's really good. You'd probably like it. It's with military and shit.
Does it have NTR in it?
No.
I only like things with NTR in it. It's a personal creed.
I don't think it's that type of manga.
Well, then it can't be.
It's more.
Like,
it's
listen,
with violence, blood, and stuff. It's not with like.
all good stories have NTR in them. Okay. Like Star Wars. Star Wars had NTR. It was a good story.
What was the NTR in Star Wars?
Luke wanted to fuck his sister, but then Han Solo was like, "Nah, that's gross, dude. Love me instead."
Isn't that cocking though?
Yeah, that's what NTR is.
No, I thought NTR is when like you have the woman that's whatever. We'll talk about it after stream.
We'll
you need to explain
this
to me how it works. You need to explain to the succubus what NTR is, Arch.
War Turkify says, anything a thought creates, a thought destroys. That too is true. Like, the thoughts have been their own primary enemies in the quote-unquote entertainment industry so far, as seen by the fact that most of them are banned on the regular, and yet somehow always return. Isn't that remarkable? Like, I know Sagaruni sent in so many appeals to his YouTube ban that YouTube extended the period of time it took between times you could appeal. Because I'm like, Sargon, fuck off. We're never gonna unban you. Meanwhile, Amaranth is on like her 9th banning now.
Yeah, but Sargon isn't earning as much as Amaranth. Like, if Sargon was earning for YouTube as much as Amaranth did, like, they would probably unban him.
Maybe. And whilst Sargon is a handsome man, he's not as hot as Amaranth. I gotta say it. Yeah, gotta drop the truth there.
And Amaranth, when she speaks like the normal person understands what she's saying, like she doesn't obfuscate with jargon and stuff.
Jargon. Sargon. I see what you did there. It was clever.
Do you think if Amaranth learned about philosophy, do you think like she would speak in more mysterious ways?
I think so. Like, eventually, as you learn more about speaking fag, you will naturally speak more of it. Like, it's a thing.
I see.
Or I suppose the PC term today would be speaking homosexual. It is a language in and of itself. By the way, are you going to start simping for Kibbs now that he has a VTuber model?
I saw it. It's like really attractive. Yes. I will like once he does his debut, but he needs to do it properly with the whole like VTuber self-introduction Q&A. If he does that, I will put it on my channel and I will direct people to it.
There you go. I'll tell him that he needs to do the singy thing.
Yes.
It's very necessary.
You're not a VTuber unless you do the singing thing.
I agree. It'll hurt Kyle, so I agree. In fact, it'll damage his esteem considerably. Yes. All right. So I want an opportunity to actually eat before we go on to Baratrauma today. So I think we're actually going to wrap it up there with a mere 3 technically, topics. So I will see if I can do some redirecting. I look forward to the day where I just automatically remember to redirect instead of having to remind myself of it.
I'm going to live stream after this, but you can't redirect to me because I haven't started shit.
Wow, that was rather dumb of you, wasn't it? Let's see, Rosa is streaming. Theoretically, I should raid Rosa now because it's her turn, but she's streaming in Spanish. And I was yelled at the last time because, like, we don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, like, God, I spoke with Rosa. It's like how she can grow, but like, when I go and watch her stream and I see 10 other people there, and it's a cacophony of people talking over each other, I'm like, well...
El hablo inglés.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do a subscriber supporter. That's right, a supporter exclusive stream of the Archian view of Baratrauma today, I think, so people can watch me set traps through the submarine. I have already created the 2 kills, which no one has detected yet, so I'm quite proud of myself. And we'll raid into Kyle then, poor little child. And when you're raiding him, tell him he needs to do the sing-songy VTuber introductionary thing. Threaten him to do it.
Very important.
Yes, or you will tickle on him.
I'm going to start my stream too, so if anyone wants to join.
Well, yeah, you have an alternative in Romania as well. Until next time, thank you all very much for watching and for your super generous donations. And hopefully, we'll see you all again next week. Actually, tomorrow, as I'll be doing the next Shadow Empire stream tomorrow. So, till then, have a good day.